Good morning, and thank you for joining another edition of Hyperlink University. My name is Jody, and today's training topic is device protection and store theft protection. Hyper University trainings are offered every Wednesday at 11 a.m., and each week we present a different curriculum. We welcome your suggestions regarding content you may like to see in the future, so please feel free to let us know in the chat. Our trainings generally take anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, and we will send the content to all attendees after each session. If at any time after today's training you would like us to review the material presented with you or someone on your team, just give us a call to schedule. On the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you will see a chat option. We ask that you type your name and company name so that you get credit for the course, as well as enable us to ship your prize if you should win our trivia. Please feel free to also use this chat option for any questions or comments you may have. And in order to make the view on your screen larger, you will need to grab and drag the line on the top of the presentation all the way up to your liking. Also joining us today are two special guests. Jeremy joining us from Ingram and Todd from 3SI Security, here to introduce 3SI, which can be valuable in helping secure your products in the unfortunate chance you experience a robbery in your store. Please stay tuned for a brief but impactful introduction from Jeremy and Todd prior to our trivia. And stay tuned until the end for our weekly Hyperlink University trivia, where we will present a couple of questions for an opportunity to win prizes by being the first to answer correctly. I would like to introduce our trainer, Shaniqua, who will now begin the session. Please take it away, Shaniqua.
Hi, thank you, Johnny, and thank you everyone for joining today's training. The topic is device protection and store theft protection. So why this training? Knowing how to protect your customer's asset will serve as a vital foundation for the relationship you're building with your customer. Showing your customers that you are out for their well-being will increase the likelihood of turning them into customers for life. Long-term customers are the most profitable for the business. These are the customers that ensure you have a healthy 3MR and 6MR. Offering value added services helps establish long term relationships by showing your customers you care about them and their assets. Boost Shield, also known as phone insurance, gives the retailer a low cost, high coverage option to provide their customers with the peace of mind right after they have spent hundreds of dollars on a new device. In addition, Boost Shield serves as an additional revenue stream for the retailer while also giving the customers the confidence to make the most out of their new device. Let's go over tips on how to sell. You guys will have the opportunity to offer Boost Shield to 100% of your customers that are purchasing a new phone. Customers that are upgrading their phone, especially if it's a high-end device or device that is on promotion. Any customer that is purchasing a new phone using Boost Up or Smart Pay, and of course, a customer that is replacing a lost or damaged phone. One thing you guys can do to make the selling process easier is to attach an opt-in form on the phone box. This form you see on the right shows your customer the difference between the cost of replacing their device with Boost Shield versus no protection at all. And it also lists the features that are included and covered. Simply attach this form to the phone box so that the customer can see the difference. As a best practice, try to mention this to the customer early in the sales process, as this is proven to be more effective than mentioning it at the end. You can bundle the cost of the insurance and the price plan, and you can just simply say things like, for $257, you can get this phone, insurance, and also your monthly service, unlimited. You can use either one of these tactics to sell Boost Shield. So how much does it cost? For the price for Boost Shield, it's $7 per month. This gets added to the customer's monthly MRC, and the customer will simply pay a deductible depending on the retail price of the phone. So for example, if the device is $150 or less, the customer will pay $20 for a deductible, and they'll get a new device. If the device is between $150 and $250, the deductible will only be $50. And as you guys can see, the customer will save lots of money if anything were to happen to their original device. Boost Shield coverage becomes effective the moment it has been actively added through the sales portal onto a customer's account. As a reminder, please make sure to add it during the activation process for it to take effect immediately. If you add it after the sale, the protection will take effect on the customer's next billing cycle. All right, so let's talk about what's covered under Boost Shield. Boost Shield covers loss, theft, any accidental damage such as water damage, any electrical or mechanical malfunctions, or any out of warranty breakdown. This service also comes with backup for your contacts, antivirus, the ability to locate, track, and alarm your phone, and remote lock and wipe the phone, and also phone screen. You can add this with the protection of the McAfee mobile security app. You can also, if the phone is lost, you can also access the McAfee service through a regular computer. For those of you who don't know, with the remote lock and wipe, you're able to lock the device and delete all of its content, so whoever may have stolen it can't access any of your information. It even snaps a picture of the person holding the phone. The phone screen feature allows you to sound an alarm even if the phone is on silent or vibrate. Good news this year that we learned. So starting February 18th of this year, any device that has never been on the Boost network will qualify for Boost Shield, meaning that there's no $10 reactivation fee. This includes BYO devices. So we just have to remember that the device should be in good working and physical condition. And just a quick FYI, Boost Shield will be depending on us to make sure that we are diligent in checking the devices for physical damage before adding insurance. We want to make sure that we can continue to offer to our BYOD customers with this benefit. So what are some of the things that are not covered under Boost? So intentional damage. So someone throws the phone at you and it cracks, that's not covered. Any accessories that were purchased with the device, normal wear and tear, pre-existing flaws, and cosmetic damage. For pre-existing flaws like right out the box failures, those things are going to be covered under the manufacturer's warranty. So you're going to direct the customer to the manufacturer. And as I mentioned before, the coverage begins on the activation date, as long as it was added during the activation process. If the coverage was added after, it will take effect during the customer's next MRC. One thing I would definitely advise is to avoid calling dealer care to make any changes, as this can affect the commission payout and the stats for the store. Remember, this is true for all value-added services. To benefit the store, all add-ons must be added through your sales portal. So what kind of devices will you receive when making a claim? Most devices are new, but in some instances, the customer may receive a refurbished device. These devices are composed of the same standards that the original equipment and manufacturers use. Boost Shield also offers a 90-day warranty in case the device you receive comes with a defect. If by any chance they no longer have the same model phone, the customer will receive the next model up. So, for example, if you have Boost Shield on an iPhone 7 and they no longer have that model available, then the customer will receive an iPhone 8. This does not happen too often and mostly occurs on devices that are end of life. Before filing a claim, there are some things that the customer will need to have to make the process smoother. The customer will need the phone number to the device, the make, model number, and ESN, the account PIN, and the details of the incident. They may ask for the date that the incident took place, valid email, and home address. This is why it's important to take the customer's real information at the time of activation. Any inaccuracies in the address, or if you guys use your store address, is going to delay the process for the customer, and the customer is going to have a difficult time getting approved for the claim. Also, if there's mismatch information, that may also delay the process. Customers have two options to submit a claim. They can either go to myphoneguardian.com or call the number you see on the screen. The next step will be to provide all the details of the incident, and then the customer will have to, they'll be asked to pay a deductible with a debit or credit card. And once approved, the device will be shipped to the customers. Sometimes when filing a claim, as I said before, customer may be asked for additional information. Again, this usually happens when Boost Shield is unable to verify the customer's identity, or if the address they have on their Boost account doesn't match the address where the customer would like the phone shipped. A good rule of thumb is to just log into the customer's online account at boostmobile.com and try to update this before you start any claims. If that's not done, the customer will have to fill out an affidavit form, which can be found on the myphoneguardian.com website, and they may be asked to submit a picture of their ID or their driver's license. Boost Shield customers are allowed to make 2 claims within a year. If any additional claims are submitted, they will automatically be declined. Note that the customer can can file a claim within 60 days of an incident. For any issues, you guys can contact BrightStar at the on the website, or you can call the phone number there. It's 844-834-3099. And at the end of this presentation, you'll see contacts here for the reps in your area. You can also reach out to those guys, and we're going to be sending you guys an email with that information in there anyway. So let's talk about adding it to a customer's account, adding the feature to a customer's account. When you're doing an activation or an upgrade, you're going to be logged into the customer's account, of course. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a select add-on button. Once you click that button, you're going to be able to go highlight the Boost Shield column there, and then it'll allow you to add the insurance onto the customer's account. Just make sure that you check the terms and agreements, and then just click on add, and it'll automatically be added to the customer's account. Make sure you review the terms and conditions with them, and you're pretty much all set. If you're doing it for customers who already have an account established and you're doing it after the fact, the funds just have to be on the customer's account in order for you to add it on. So that's actually it for me, and I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy and Todd, who's going to talk about the store theft protection.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. And thanks for having us. Been on once before and excited to have the opportunity to speak with you all again today. As you heard, I'm Jeremy Ritter with Ingram Micro. We are the vendor for 3SI Security, which we're going to be discussing today. We're also a vendor for unlocked phones for Boost Mobile's BYOD program. And I am here today along with Todd Boak from 3SI Security Systems to remind everybody about the solutions that are available to protect your stores and your employees, your inventory, and your cash, of course, against the constant threat of crime. Quick question for everybody. Quick poll. The question is, have you or any of your fellow store owners that you know of been directly impacted by crime? Not surprised to see that, right? We know that no business and certainly no retail store is immune to crime. Now, you might avoid it for a while. You might not have had your stores hit, right? But eventually every business is impacted some way or another, because whether or not you experience a crime event or a store near you, it's going to have implications for your business. And no matter what steps you have already taken, security cameras, active or passive alarms, safe rooms for your inventory and cash, CCTV, those methods are at the absolute best a deterrent or a system to document when the crime happens. And what your current security does not do, and those of you that have experienced crime know this, is it doesn't actually connect the law enforcement with the criminals, right? It might document what happened and give them something to go on, but everybody walking into your store probably wears a mask now. So the ability for law enforcement to find those criminals and prosecute is extremely rare. And that's what makes 3SI so essential. It puts law enforcement in direct contact with criminals to make arrests in minutes. In 50 years, 3SI has never failed to prosecute a guilty verdict when their tech has been used to apprehend the criminals. There's just not another solution that can say that. In fact, in 80% of store theft where a 3SI tracker is taken, law enforcement is able to catch the bad guys in less than 20 minutes. And not just that, but without 3SI, your best hope is an insurance claim and a prayer your policy doesn't get dropped or your premium go up. I would venture to say that nobody on here who's experienced crime got their stuff back. It's extremely rare. Now, what makes 3SI solution so unique and so successful? Well, it's those three points you see on your screen there. All right, I like to call these the pillar that holds up the solution. So first is a law enforcement division. It's made up entirely of law enforcement officers, retired law enforcement officers, whose responsibility is simply to cultivate relationships with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. They've done that with over 9,000 agencies worldwide. They train them how to utilize the technology and how to track criminals. They also participate in hearings and court cases to help prosecute the criminals. That's a huge benefit. Next is the Tracking Support Center, which has 24 primary functions. Now, they coordinate with multiple law enforcement agencies during the live event to manage multi-jurisdiction tracking. So bad guys take your stuff, they start moving across jurisdictions. You're not relying on the law enforcement agencies to work together without, independently. Tracking Support Center is going to help manage that. They're also there to help support your needs as a 3SI customer, answering any questions you have, providing training on the use of the tracker technology, how to follow the track if once a tracker is on the move. And the real heart of the solution is that 3SI GPS tracking technology. So 3SI, as a company, is almost 50 years in business and adopted this GPS and GNSS satellite technology about 15 years ago. That allows them pinpoint accuracy in locating stolen goods. Like I mentioned, 80% of the time where a 3SI tracker is taken, law enforcement catches those bad guys in less than 20 minutes. And not just that, but it essentially is giving law enforcement what they need in order to catch these bad guys. That is extending the crime event, right? If you all have seen any videos of store robberies, you know they only last about 2 or 3 minutes. So law enforcement typically doesn't have the time to get to your store and apprehend the criminal. They need more time, and that's what 3SI technology provides. The trackers are motion activated, and after about 10 seconds of moving around, that tracker wakes up and it alerts the owner. And as soon as the tracker leaves the geofence around your retail stores, 3SI, law enforcement, and you are all notified. Law enforcement immediately dispatches officers along the event track to make that contact with the criminals. It's that simple. Without it, they're just taking a police report and adding it to the list of crime. The latest Select trackers are exact replicas of the iPhone 12. And they include the same packaging, the inbox materials. If you were to open up the box, it would look just like one of your other phones. They're virtually indistinguishable from a live phone, with the exception of some of the serial numbers on the back. The cash tracker is actually a bundle of real dollar bills, 25, with the tracking tech embedded right in the middle. Obviously, both trackers are designed to be covert, so the bad guys take them along with your cash and inventory. Now, I want you to understand this is not a deterrent. Once criminals have decided that your existing security is no longer a threat for them, as a deterrent, it's useless. This is about catching the criminals and, in most cases, making a full recovery of your assets after they've already left your store. Like I said, there's not another solution like this. So, folks, this is a really high-level overview of the program. We don't have the time or the bandwidth here to address your specific needs as much as I'd love to. And in an ideal circumstance, we'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with each of you to address the needs of your specific locations, talk about experiences you've had with crime and how to offset that risk or mitigate that risk going forward. We put together a custom deployment plan for your stores. It's a simple solution, but it's one we should talk about. In order for you to be profitable, right, you need to increase your revenues and mitigate financial risk, right? This is all about mitigating that financial risk. This is one aspect of it. And recovering from crime is something that is absolutely within your control to do, if you choose to. So besides this overview, we also wanted to address much of the, let's be frank, the anti-law enforcement sentiment that's pretty pervasive in our culture and communities right now. And to be honest, I've never met a group of business owners that are more supportive of law enforcement than cell phone retailers. It's important that we demonstrate that support now more than ever. I'm not saying you need to, put a blue line flag outside your store, or wear pins or anything like that. But we need to, as a group, retailers need to be supportive of law enforcement. Obviously, equipping your stores with 3SI is a huge benefit that gives law enforcement a much needed resource to do their jobs with excellence. But there are also some grassroots efforts that you all can make individually. Todd, would you like to address some of those?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeremy, and thanks, Hyperlink. Jeremy, you stole a lot of my thunder here, brother.
That was my goal.
That was really good. As far as reinforcing blue and supporting law enforcement, I think a lot of people tend to forget that it's very easy and should be a staple in your routine to call down there. Let's call the police chief, the captain. Let's set up a meet and greet. Get to know them. If you know these guys on a first name basis, which I hope some of you do, you're absolutely doing your job to humanize your stores and your situation, because it's fact. I mean, we know that you guys have a target on your back. And if we just look at the profile of what these crimes look like and who's committing them, when you talk about organized retail crime and targets, clothing and electronics are #1 in the country. We know that, this is going to be a young male, 18 to 24 years old. We know there's going to be at least an accomplice, possibly more. We know they've cased your store. We know you're most vulnerable, and they will be targeting you somewhere between and right around your store open and store close. Believe it or not, the most prolific day for these crimes is Wednesday. A lot of people don't realize that. And the other thing that's concerning is the increased violence that's happening with these crimes, at least over the last couple of years. Shots fired, pistol whipping, zip ties of employees or, God forbid, patrons. It happens. So that's what that looks like. And from what we do, again, Jeremy, great job on the overview. But it's all about success, right? If we can catch these bad guys and break this crime cycle and put them behind bars, that's the only way we're going to stop this. That's what we do. And that support continues on and during and after the crime takes place, up to and including supporting you in court as expert testimony. Again, whatever it takes. It's all about crime fighting and putting these bad guys behind bars. So getting to know your local law enforcement officers, and pardon the cliche, but they absolutely do love donuts and bagels. It's a wonderful gesture. Feel free to talk about what you're experiencing, concerns you have. It's a great way to get to know them and to again humanize what you guys do day in and day out. So thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate you giving us the time today. I know we're short on time and we're just about there. Susie, you see our contact information here. Feel free to reach out to either Jeremy or myself directly. The conversation is a good one to have, and we would love to do that with you. So thank you very much for your time, y'all.
Thanks, Todd. Again, we're happy to answer any questions you have. I know there's a little bit of Q&A coming up. We'd also appreciate that opportunity to speak with you individually. for a more comprehensive look at this program, conversation about your personal experiences, how we can help harden your stores against future crime events. At the same time, as I mentioned, Ingram Micro is also a strong partner for multiple carriers, including Boost Mobile. In our efforts to support Boost's BYOD program, we are sourcing unlocked phones for Boost dealers. Something else we can talk about and to see how we can assist in continuing to drive up your BYOD take rate. Thanks again for your time today.
Thank you, Shaniqua. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Todd, for joining us today. And thank you all for joining today's session of Hyperlink University. We appreciate your commitment to yourself and to your business. Please invite everyone from your organization who can benefit from HyperU trainings to join us every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Feel free to email future training suggestions to Jose@hyperlinkusa.com if you didn't get a chance to type it in the chat box during this session. And while it is still fresh, we'd love to enter you into our monthly drawing for a 100 Boost Good shopping spree by answering 2 quick questions about today's session. Question 1, what did we do right? And question 2, what can we do better? Simply by clicking on the link in today's follow-up email. Join us next Wednesday for Hyperlink University, where we will cover Boost Mobile's new and improved ad builder, and come prepared to win awesome prizes as we host Hyperlink University Trivia at the end of every training. You can find our sessions recorded on Hyperlink's YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe so that you are notified as future trainings are added. Thank you so much and stay safe, everyone.